I really like the Hidden Dimensions piece by Jesse Smalls. I just really like how it's like kind of the only installation here, and it just really shows a lot of movement. It's pretty cool.
And I like the two concentric pebble rings. The reason why I like the piece is because like the art itself is like a circle, and like it represents like a circle of life cycle basically. Like, yeah, that's why that's the most piece I like the most.
Stand there, let's get to it. Strike a pose, there's nothing to it.
Yes, my name is Carolyn Robertson, and welcome to this exhibition. It's called Capturing the Zeitgeist, the Kinship Between Art and Fashion. More and more art history, I realized that I was just so intrigued by all of the clothes I saw in different periods of time. Like, say, Renaissance paintings. I was just so curious why they would wear like carpet, it almost looked like carpets on their bodies, you know, for the clothing. So that is what really got me interested in retracing fashion history. I also find that it's not really something that a lot of people know about. I mean, they know what they like and they might have a certain favorite period, but they don't tend to, I think, really realize the evolution of fashion history, you know, over time. That you may know, like certain people who wear designer clothes, I think there's an element of power being expressed, you know, when a person is doing that pretty regularly. In terms of what that means for the future, I really think I'd say in the past 15 years, maybe even 20 years, in a stage where fashion is coming from the bottom up. So in other words, the internet certainly has influenced fashion. So designers who you think of at the top, you know, and who had been in charge of determining fashion trends for decades, now the trends are coming from the street, and designers are paying attention to that. So fashion has really turned upside down in a lot of ways, but it's even more creative, I think, than ever before.
I'm Dominique Alvarez.
I'm Raymond Godoy.
It's all that fashion evolved throughout the decades, as we can see throughout all of the posters. It's really changed, and it always keeps changing, even till today.
Honestly, for me personally, I like David Beckham. I like even like a Jay-Z. Yeah, just because he can mix up like a urban look, but also wear suits, and that's what I like about David Beckham too. Yeah.
Is Daniel, D-A-N-I-E-L, Kramer, K-R-E-M-E-R. We're a retired cult deprogrammers, or people who are hired by families to kidnap people away from cults to do against their will, and you are using coercion and often violence and many other mind games to get them to return them to their former selves prior to their involvement in the cult. A level of fascination which really kind of startled my parents at the time, I think. I mean, yeah, so with Jim, I mean, I read everything I could get my hands on, because the idea of control and the idea of the idea of brainwashing really was a kind of a dangling question for me. How does one do it? How does one effectively?
Indie rock band in Los Angeles that finds itself with two of the founding members quitting the band, and so the future of the band is kind of uncertain, and the remaining members kind of have to decide whether or not to put the band back together or just kind of call it quits. And it's about them kind of coming together and sort of starting a new chapter of the band.
I had branches in my hand, necklaces around my neck, and I'm dancing. Before the dam was built, which has totally disrupted their life, and this is a documentation to them, their life, as I saw it in 2013. And yes.
Talk about your book. Tell me about it.
The book is a labor of love. I worked on it for 2 years.
Okay.
I had 2 years. I worked on the book. Started with 5,000 images, culled it down to 144, which are in the book.
Hear the words and have faith. Have faith. He lives in you. He lives in me.
She did, but they were like sewn right through her earlobe. So we had to get a knife. We didn't cut her ear, but we had to cut the leather that went through her ear to get them off. So when I got them home, they were covered in a lot of mud, so I used a toothbrush to get them cleaned up and then sent them to a jeweler in Santa Fe to put on the metal parts so I could attach them to my ear. So you travel with respect for the places and the people that you travel. And you travel smart, and I'm not afraid.
So let me ask you this.
I have seen so many indigenous cultures. I guess I'm a little conditioned to it. I'm not shocked by much anymore. I'm more accepting. I guess what I'm shocked about is our culture. When I came back from this trip after spending 3 weeks in Ethiopia, and someone picked me up at the airport and started complaining about, we don't have this and we don't have that. I about jumped down there and threw it away. You have got to be kidding. We have so much. We have so much. And more people from the United States should travel to see how much we really have. And
Let me ask you. He lives in you. He lives in
camera, we hung to the sidelines, and we just waited. And pretty, they were having this huge celebration. And pretty soon they were paying attention to us.